As of recently, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better at speaking with fluidity. Of course, I am very exposed to my own recordings and my own speech because I edit my own videos and I make videos. But I've been checking back at my old videos, my previous videos, or even voice notes. You don't have to be a content creator to get better at speaking. Whenever you pick up the phone and you text somebody on WhatsApp, whatever, and you send a voice note, it is likely that you start to speak and you have little pauses, which I still do. For example, so bro, if you go there, make sure you just let me know because otherwise, right? And things like that, and it's just very slow, it's very monotone and etc. This happens to the majority of people, and you may say to yourself, yeah, for some reason, and then when I am in person, I have no problem, or the other way around. You have problems in person, but online you're fine. Well, I'm making this video to try to help out with some things that you can do, some observations towards yourself, and some practices to avoid this. It is very frustrating to speak on the camera, to speak to anybody, and not be able to speak with fluidity. So there are some factors which actually keep us from being able to do this. First one, kind of obvious, knowing what you're talking about. If you're just filling in the conversation or you're not really listening, like you're not really present, then you're not going to be participating as well. If you're, let's say, we know this, if you're talking to somebody, but you're just replying to an important message on the phone, you are either doing one or the other, but not doing both of them well. And if you're trying to do both, you're doing both mediocrely. You might actually say the things that you're saying out loud in the text message, and you might say out loud something that's not even coherent. So yeah, chase 2 rabbits, you catch 0. On to point 2, the fun part about all of this is that it doesn't necessarily need to be something that you know you're talking about. You don't have to know what you're talking about. I have no script for this video. I just had a phrase in my thoughts. A phrase in my mind, and which was how to speak with more fluidity. And then I started just blah, 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 right, going on a rampage. Maybe I'm not even making any sense right now, but I'm speaking fluid. Maybe not. But yeah, I'm doing it. How so? Even if I don't know what I'm talking about, possibly, though I think that I do, or I like to believe so. You have to be comfortable. I feel comfortable right now. I feel like, I'm opening my body, I'm walking all over the place, and this is not forced. If you're forcing a behavior out of yourself, you're not going to be comfortable. Maybe you're more comfortable being like this, and then you're actually against the wall and you speak better that way. But I was like that, funnily enough, but I've trained myself throughout the years because I was a little shy boy or whatever, and I wanted to be extroverted and cool and all that shit. So I did things like a psychopath to evolve in real life, as per se. And it worked out, right? Now I always have fun wherever I go, and people around me also. So take the space around you in whichever way is best for you. If you want to make a change, then of course make a change. And then whatever that change eventually that grows into you, become comfortable in that new you. And though there is a million things that you can do to, become a better speaker, etc., and then to work on your abilities, I'm just gonna give you one more thing. I don't want to crowd your head with too many things. Well, that's kind of ironic, foreshadowing. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but this is a snappy video on the go. I didn't want to write down things, sit down and think about it, but rather for the sake of this video, as it was to speak with more fluidity, I wanted to make it as transparent as possible. So there's also going to be a minimal amount of cuts, which may shed light to the things that I mess up on. Anyway, last and final point. Practice mindfulness, practice quiet. So recently I've been off my phone a lot more. I've been taking time away from constant noise, constant movement. I've heard, essentially I'm entering some sort of monk mode where I'm trying to do more work. And I remember hearing this YouTuber called Hamza say that when you do something like this, there's a danger that you may become socially inept, right? Because you're just not really talking to others and whatnot. I actually found it to be the opposite. I have found myself, because I share a house with others, and I encounter them, hey, what's up, man? Oh, you need a recommendation? Yeah, go over there, that's a good place, etc. Or maybe I don't fully go monk mode because, bro, it's so important to socialize. You should never neglect that. So I still go out, play volleyball, whatever. It's so fun. Anyway, most of the time I am alone and I am just not really talking to anybody, though I do talk on camera. But it's a camera. I have found that when I enter an interaction, I have way less clutter in my mind. Instead of spending hours and hours scrolling and consuming shit and having my thoughts crowded by different pieces of information that I'm trying to process to then remember in the future, I am empty. I have nothing that can fly. And because of this, so as I was saying, no consumption, no kind of movement so often, so frequently, that's kind of making me drown in all these thoughts. I have nothing and I am fully present and fully in control of the things that I want to say. I don't stutter. I never really did, but every now and then I do have stutters. And when I do, I realize it's because I've been either gaming for too long or whatever, or just doing things that are kind of not like social, right? And being alone is, funnily enough, not social, because you are talking to yourself constantly. You are giving yourself original thoughts. But if you're consuming something from someone else, you are only reacting to things. You're not formulating. When you have nothing, you're still creating. Bro, if somebody said to you, think of nothing, you're going to start thinking of things. There's not a moment where you are thinking of nothing, apart from the moments that you are left alone. Apart from the moments in which you are consuming, because you are reacting to things and you're not necessarily formulating anything. You're just, drooling on yourself, whatever. It's good and it's fine to have like chill time where you're just watching something that you enjoy, but it shouldn't be the majority of your time. Neither is it productive to always be learning something, to always be reading a new book or listening to a new podcast, because you need time to internalize knowledge. If you don't give yourself time, that knowledge is just going to be floating about in your short-term memory. You need to internalize it. And all these things will help you for your fluidity in the way that you speak. When it is your moment to speak, you won't be slower, as per se, as when you do a voice note and whatnot. You'll be able to just say whatever and speak for minutes and minutes, even on topics that you're not necessarily like passionate about. I don't get too much about my speaking, but it's something very important to me. I care more about love and I care more about purpose and shit of the sort. Join my Discord to become a better person. Hopefully, encourage me, encourage you, encourage each other. So yeah, hopefully this gave some pointers or helped you out. Please fucking take action. Don't just watch. That's so frustrating. You have something you want to prove. I want to see it. The whole world wants to see it. You want to see it. So show us what you're made of. Do that thing that you love. Generate more love in the world. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love. Quick reminder to fix your posture and take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose.